Hey everyone, what's happening? Have another short video today, another one in a series of just the gear videos that I'm making for what I'm using when I'm here on the Florida Trail. Today we're going to be talking about my camera equipment and the associated stuff with it. So, starting off, the camera right here, let's switch real quick. Okay, so now we're on the phone. Main camera I'm using is going to be this. This is my Canon M50 Mark II, and it is currently equipped with the kit lens. It is the 15 to 45 millimeter IS STM that came with my camera, and I have it in a small rig cage. And cage for me, it just kind of gives you more to hold on to, and it gives you a couple extra mounting points for things like the cold shoe mount on this angle where I have the microphone. And I do have an Arca Swiss plate mounted on the bottom. That is actually so I can help it attach to my Peak Design camera clip that I have on my backpack. And it is actually from the PGY Mantis Pod Pro tripod that I'm using. This is a fantastic little tripod, and the other bonus is what came with it is very useful for what I'm going to show you when let's get back to the other camera. Okay, and we are back. So you might notice a slight difference in sound between the two cameras that I'm using. The one I do have the Deity V4 Duo on the Canon M50 here. It's a kind of, I'd say stereo, but it's a front and back microphone. I could split it all the way front, all the way back, or just kind of equalize it. Most of the time it's just pointing forward, but in case I'm looking at something and I still want to talk to the camera, I actually have that there for me so you can still hear me. It's kind of odd way of editing because it's two channels, but that's for another video. Anyway, like I was saying with the PGY Mantis Pod Pro, my tripod here, there's a couple things that I really like about it. You know, you can actually push this button here and hold it at different angles. It is, of course, a tripod, so let me swing those out. And it's not huge, but it's enough so if I want to do like a walking shot or work on some B-roll, it's really stable, and it's not too heavy. It weighs about 11 ounces by itself. You can completely make this flat, or almost completely flat, if you want to have a really low down shot close to the ground. And actually inside of the front side of the arm here, there is a little clip that pops out. So what I've actually done a couple times is clip that over the top of like a piece of furniture or a wall, and then it'll support itself if I wanted to get like a vertical shot, or kind of just a different angle that I'm not used to seeing. It's just another thing that I've done a few times. And there's also a little hole that's above that clip, and inside of that hole is actually a cell phone adapter. And obviously you see I have this actually on my iPhone now. My iPhone's probably what I'm going to be doing the majority of my like walking and talking kind of filming, just because it's lighter, it has fantastic cameras on it, and I can still run an auxiliary microphone, and that is the Rode Video Micro microphone. And of course you have to use the headphone adapter, or the 3.5 millimeter to the lightning adapter to use a microphone with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But fantastic sound, fantastic video quality. This is probably what I'm going to be doing most of my walking and talking filming with, at least at the start. I'm going to see how it works out. If I could still do a lot of walking and talking with the big camera here, I don't want to have as much possibility of getting moisture into the Canon M50. So, of course, the Canon M50 does not have any weather sealing or anything like that, whether it's in the lenses or the body itself. It's not weather sealed whatsoever. So, that's why I want to use the iPhone to do most of my walking and talking portion, just because I can keep the little flap door where the microphone is plugged in closed. It's just a little bit extra. It's nothing too big. I'm probably going to end up switching to it depending on what I feel looks better over the long term. So far, they're kind of on par. And it comes down to lens quality. What I do have actually on each of the three lenses for the iPhone, I do have little glass protectors. They do come in a little pack, and it's a 5-pack, so I actually have 2 spares, and they're actually color matched to the body of the phone themselves. They're super cheap. A 5-pack's like $6, and I've broken a couple, but they're super quick to pop on and off, and I would much rather break a lens cover like that than I would actually breaking the camera on the phone. And so yeah, I'm probably going to do most of my walking and talking on the iPhone setup itself, and take the microphone off of the Canon M50 just so I close it down. And it's just a little bit less weight, like bulky waving around stuff, because the mounts kind of have a wobble to them, and I don't want that wobbling on my chest all day long. So it'll mostly probably be used just for taking quick shots, B-roll, but mostly just my photography, like critters and things that I see, are going to be on the Canon M50 itself. Okay, in terms of storage, pretty simple as well. I have a small rig SD card holder, and in here I have 2 terabytes worth of storage in SD cards. The 2 I have out by themselves are both 512 gigabytes, and the 3 that it holds in the bottom here, I just have micro SD cards inside of their adapters, and each of those is another 256. Plus, I have a 256 gigabyte inside of this camera right now. So a total of 2 terabytes of storage space. Very, very small, very lightweight, great way to, it's aluminum, so it's a great way to keep your SD cards safe like that. I also have a Samsung Extreme Pro SSD. This is another 4 terabytes of storage that I'm going to be dumping things to. After I edit, that's where I'm going to keep most of my stuff and all my edited videos. If there's any photos or anything, if any of the cards happen to fill up, I'm just going to dump those off onto there. Very, very lightweight, very, very small. The only thing with that is it does not power by itself off of my iPhone. So you have to run it through an adapter, and this is just a 5-in-1 adapter. All you really need is the USB plus the Lightning adapter, so you can charge it. It gets power. I can charge my phone through that as well, and still attach the SSD to the phone itself through that. And it's pretty quick. You don't lose any speed or anything like that with that particular setup. In terms of battery power for the phone, I'm just going to be charging that off my normal Anchor power banks, and I have 8 spare batteries for my camera, and those are the Canon LPE 12 batteries. The one from the factory is like 875 milliamp hours, and I use BM power because each one of those is 1125, so right off the bat you're getting another good chunk of battery power, and I'm carrying 9 of them. I can usually get about half hour, 45 minutes of filming time out of one of those batteries, so that's another reason I want to use most of my walk and talks on the camera or on the iPhone itself, because I chew through battery power, and they're not very big. I don't run an external battery setup like I could because I didn't want to have that bulkiness and weight on my camera. Now to charge those LPE 12s, this is the BM Power charger that came with a multi-pack of those batteries that I bought. 2 at a time it'll charge, and because they're so relatively small, I can usually charge one up from dead to full in about 25 minutes, which is awesome. Efficiency is going to be key. The faster I can charge my stuff and keep moving, the better. Okay, I also have an Apple SD card reader, Lightning port, that it just plugs into the phone. If I just want to dump something off of the phone onto an SD card as kind of an extra backup, I'm probably going to end up kind of purging my phone a few times because video on the iPhone chugs through the memory. And yeah, it's a 512 gigabyte iPhone, but I don't want to have that completely full because the more you have on the phone, the slower it is, and hey, whatever. Last thing I have is going to be a spare lens. This is my little telephoto. This is the Canon 55 to 200 millimeter telephoto zoom lens, and also on the end of it I have a, can't remember the brand, KF Concept ND filter. neutral density filter. I also have a KF Concept neutral density filter on this particular lens as well. And of course what that does right here, let's show you real quick. It's just kind of like sunglasses for your camera. If it's too bright out, if I'm not getting good photos, if it's getting washed out, boom, there I go. I can kind of turn it down to, you know, whatever I need to, a couple stops, and film everything the way it is. The lens itself, or the extra lens itself, the 55 to 200 here, I usually just keep wrapped inside of a microfiber cloth, which is also my lens cleaning cloth that I use, and then it goes inside of actually just an old pistol sock. Nothing fancy, but it's got silicone impregnated fabric, so it keeps a little bit extra moisture out. Just, again, it's a little bit of padding and a little bit of extra protection, and then everything there will go inside of my Sea to Summit tiny little dry bag here. Waterproof dry bag, so a little bit of protection, keep everything working so I can keep making videos for you. And sorry for the shaky cam. It's kind of a spur of the moment. I'm just going to go through things as it comes to mind, but that is what I'm carrying on the Florida Trail for my camera equipment. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave those down below. If you have any questions, as soon as I read them, I'll be able to get back to you if I have service. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. So, like I always say, thanks again for watching. Make sure you find a reason to smile today, and I'll catch you in the next one.